The reason that person is flailing is they're trying to protect something they never learned to do to begin with.
Ooh.
So you should just go ahead and lay into what you already know you don't know. You already know you're a cheater.
What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of It's Giving. I am your host, Sarah Fontenot, and today we are joined by someone absolutely incredible. I know I keep bringing my super successful, amazing, top-notch friends, and this is another incredible person we are adding to the roster, guys. He is a father. He is a provider. He is an access giver. He is changing so many people's lives. His name is not just here in Atlanta, but it is all across the nation with the new thing that he is creating, one of the only, not just Black men, but men, period, that has created micro home communities. So we are joined today by none other than Mr. Booker T. Washington. What's up, sir?
What's up? What's up?
How you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling fantastic. How you feeling?
I feel phenomenal. I feel amazing.
Amazing.
I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I got to ask you, if you were to title this chapter of your life, It's Giving blank, what would this chapter be called? And you have to say, it's giving.
It's giving transformation.
Oh, tell me more.
You know, everything in life, in my opinion, is evolution.
Yeah.
You yourself are evolution. You're always in evolution.
Yes.
I think that's just a natural state of things,
Yes.
right? So for me, in my business and what I do as a real estate developer and in my life in general, it's just another phase of transformation that's great because I'm tapped into a lot of things I've always wanted to do from a dream aspect. Now we're in manifestations phase and execution phase, which are all forms of transformation.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. That deserves some snaps or something. Golly. Okay. Straight into it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have to ask you because I do feel like, right now you are all over Instagram. You are all over TikTok. Steve Harvey is on your stuff. Cedric the Entertainer is on your, like, there are so many huge celebrities that are noticing what it is that you're doing and how you are providing for it to be more manageable for people to get into their first home and all of these things. So we know, Booker T. Washington from Techie Homes.
Right.
But I want to get to know Booker T. Washington, the man.
Okay.
So how did you go from, where did you come from, first of all? And then kind of like breaking down your story, like how did you become this person? Who did you have to be?
I was actually hatched out of an egg. But no, I was just kidding.
Okay. I was like, wait, what?
But for me, I was born in Tuskegee, Alabama. So my namesake, Booker T. Washington, comes from the historical figure, especially in the civil rights movement, Booker T. Washington, a former slave.
Yes.
And uniquely, I was born at the school he founded, which was Tuskegee Institute, which is now named Tuskegee University.
Wow.
So
you were born?
I was born on campus in their university hospital.
Okay. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's a story. Okay.
Yeah, so my mom went to school there, and she was an adjunct professor there. So they had a university hospital, which has been closed now for several decades.
Yeah.
I was one of the last few babies born there.
Wow.
Yep. And so my mom decided to namesake me, since her maiden name was Washington, right after who she admired.
Yeah.
And fun fact, my brother's name is George Washington Carver. So,
Wow.
If anybody knows history, George Washington Carver and Booker T. Washington were the best of friends.
Yes.
They ran an institution together.
Yes.
And so that's where the name came from.
So your mom knew you would be great.
She had hoped for sure I would be great.
Does your other brother, is he doing well?
Yes.
So, 2 out of 2.
Yeah,
I think both are doing great then.
Both are doing great, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that was, she says, the only thing I can give you, because we did not grow up, we grew up poor. Right. And so
define poor. I feel like that's relative.
It's relative. So let me give you our standard of poor. Okay. So I am the youngest of 3 kids.
Yes.
But my sister had a son early in life in her teenage years.
Okay.
So we were 5 people living in a 650 square foot 2-bedroom apartment.
Wow.
1 bath.
Wow.
And that is what our reality was for most of my life.
Yeah.
We just moved from one apartment to another, from sleeping in living rooms on sofas to sharing bedrooms to roommating with your mom as a teenager.
Wow.
In the same room.
Wow.
Just all those things about growth. So that was poor for us. But we didn't know we were poor.
So you were happy.
Yeah, we were happy.
I think that's so important. And I can totally relate to that. Major shout out to my parents. I'm from Canada.
Okay.
Yes, from Saskatchewan, Canada. And we grew up struggling, you know. And my dad ruptured a disc in his back when I was about 10 years old. And so we went from a single family income or from a 2-parent household income to one. And, you know, my dad was doing his best and trying to support the best that he could.
Right.
But really, it kind of fell onto my mom. And so my mom had a full-time job. She was studying to get her master's in engineering. All of us kids, because my parents love each other too much. My dad's injury in our own life to make sure that we weren't homeless, essentially. And I can relate. We had one bathroom, and I shared rooms my entire life growing up. And, you know, I used to eat butter sandwiches, and we couldn't put meat and cheese on the same sandwich.
For us, it was mayonnaise sandwich.
Oh, I hate mayonnaise. I hate it. But yeah, you know, so I can totally relate, but I feel like when you go through those times, but you're joyful for what you actually have, it breeds character. So much character. Okay, so you grew up in hard circumstances. Where was the I believe I can do more, I believe I can be more, and were you around other families that were also struggling? Was that kind of the environment?
Yeah, I mean, our environment was, we grew up typically as most poor Black people do, around each other.
Were your parents together?
No. So I grew up without a father.
Okay.
He left before I was born.
Okay.
And so our mom was a single mom of all these kids. We didn't have any fathers in our lives. So
how was that?
I mean, we had father figures that came along, people that we admired that were men.
Yeah.
But for us, she was both. She was the alpha and the omega.
Okay.
For us.
Yeah.
You know, she was very strong. She was strong-willed.
Yes.
You know, she was steadfast on standards. And it was the standards that grew us when we didn't have means. So it was, make sure you do your homework, not just for me, but for your livelihood. Because if you don't do good in school and you don't get good grades and you don't get favor from your teachers and opportunity, I cannot give you. So my mom was very real. So she was very upfront to say, I'm not going to have money to give you. I'm not going to have opportunity to give you. So, but the one thing I can give you is a roof, an opportunity to go to school, to do your best. And you should do your best, not for me, but for you. And in doing those life practices, that's where all the drive came from for me as an adult. So people say, well, how did all of this come about? It's because from the very beginning, we were left to be independent. Be independent minded, although we were taken care of, because we knew the world would not take care of us or come save us. Sheesh. So she baked that into us early.
Yeah.
I mean, I had my first job when I was 11.
Where did you work at 11? Isn't that illegal to work at 11? Hold up. Whoa. Rewind.
I mean, I had my first job when I was 11.
Were you babysitting?
No, I was delivering newspapers.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, the paper route. Okay.
The paper route.
Yep.
But we made the paper route a real hustle.
Yes.
Like it wasn't just something. It needed to be, because at 11, we helped our mom pay rent.
Shut the front door.
So that was a job.
For a 600 square foot apartment?
Yes.
What did...
Okay. We were working to provide at 11.
Yeah.
Like we would get home.
You and your brother, or you, your brother and your sister?
Yeah, all of us worked. We worked.
Wow.
Because we knew once we got of age to be able, get to being able.
Yes. And 11 was it.
11 was it.
So you were up at 5 a.m. doing your paper route.
5 a.m. before I went to school.
Yeah.
Put the newspapers, wrapped them up, put them in a bag, went out, tossed them. Then we collected the money.
Yes. My brother, actually growing up, my brother Bradley, he did a paper route.
Yeah.
It didn't last long because he could not wake up early to save his life.
Nope.
He could not. But I feel like when I was young, I did a little bit of everything. I sold, chocolate covered almonds and chocolate covered raisins and chocolate bars. And I did babysitting. I was really big on babysitting. And I was always trying to figure out, like, how can I get a little bit of something? So do you feel like it was your mother? And you said was. So your mother, I think we've had a conversation about your mom.
Yeah, my mom has passed away now 12 years ago. And she was the figure for us, all of us, especially me, because I was the baby, So being the baby, I got a little bit of the extra care. I got a little bit of the extra, stuff because, I was her last. I was her smallest. I was her youngest. And she had me late in life. She was in her late 30s when she had me. So
there's hope for me. There's hope for me. There's hope for me. Okay, I can late 30s. I could be in my late 30s and have a baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
What? Okay.
You can do it. So she just proved that she could balance it all.
Yeah.
She was an educated woman.
Yes.
But she had a lot of responsibilities. And so for us, she never shielded us. So the biggest lesson I would always give her credit for, she never shielded what life was.
That's
and most
beautiful.
parents do that. Naturally.
It's
protection.
Yeah.
It's nurturing. But I love her for that because it allowed us to grow and think imaginatively about what could be.
Yeah.
Without being kind of covered or jaded by this curtain that she put around us.
Yeah. There's this book, I'm an avid reader, and I love a good book. And there's a book that you just made me think of called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill.
Okay.
And inside of this book, he talks about how parents, whether they know it or not, actually turn their children into drifters.
Yeah.
Drifters being where you're not intentional with your life. Drifter meaning, you kind of just go with the flow. You take what comes, and this is the way that life is.
Yeah.
And he says the way that they do that is it starts when they're children in elementary school, when you start doing their homework for them.
Absolutely.
When you start answering the questions for them.
Absolutely.
When you're always coming to your child's rescue, what you're
Yeah.
actually subconsciously and subliminally telling your child is, you can't do it yourself.
Correct.
So now subconsciously and subliminally, the child believes I can't do this without help, whether it be mom, dad, a significant other, a friend, a partner, whoever it may be.
Right.
And so I think that that's really beautiful that she instilled that in you guys early because, oh my goodness, I think of coddled people, period, are often, I don't want to blanket statement it, but the word that's coming up, they feel weak to me.
Mm-hmm.
The character is weaker because it's like they need reinforcement in order to go, which isn't bad. It's just, may not be ideal.
Yeah, that character doesn't mature as fast.
Yeah.
And in today's society, that could be a crippling thing for you.
Yeah.
And in modes of all of the success people are trying to run to get, they don't have that matured character to lean on.
Yeah.
Because that's the basis that builds everything, right?
Yeah.
So for us, that's what's the basis. That's the foundation she built for us. Hey, you got to do it because no one's going to come save you.
Yeah.
Not even me.
Ooh. It's a bar, though.
So if you don't, it's not going to work out well for you. She used to always preach that. If you don't get A's, it's not going to work out. If you don't get B's, it's not going to work out. Never bring a C in the house because the only thing you have to do is go to school and do your best. So why would you leave and not go do your best?
Wow.
Why would you leave this house, leave out this door every morning and not try to achieve to do your best when you know doing your best gives you a leg up into things versus a ask from me?
Yeah.
Because one thing so for example, she used to preach good grades, but we know in the good grades, this is a small little thing. Whenever you would make all A's or all B's, you got invited to a little special party the other kids didn't get invited to.
She did that?
No, in schools.
Oh, wow.
But by demonstrating what happened if you were on the other side of getting good grades, she started to show what favor looked like for us at a young age.
Wow. Touche.
So we knew if we did something, favor would follow.
Yes.
If we did nothing, nothing would happen.
Oh.
So why not do your very best, not knowing exactly what the favor is going to be, but it's promised that favor is going to come.
Ooh, don't miss that, y'all. That was a bar that you just dropped.
Yeah.
That was really good.
So that was our whole kind of mechanism of growth and nurturing.
Yeah.
Is we were Christian-based family.
Yes. But could I argue that there wasn't much nurturing? There was guiding.
There was guiding.
But would you say there was nurturing?
She allowed God to nurture.
Okay.
She knew if we based ourselves into the promises that he had on our lives and that she provided us the guidance and support to be able to do, that God would do the rest. And my whole life, that has been my journey.
Work hard.
Work hard, the favor will show because it was already promised.
Well, that has certainly happened. I will tell you that right now. You have worked your butt off and the favor is definitely a torrential rain coming, okay?
Yeah.
It is a downpour of favor that's happening on your
Absolutely.
life, but it's not without the work and probably the discernment that you developed as a young child by really leaning on the nurturing of God.
Yeah. She preached a lot about manifestation.
Yeah.
We talked in our household.
So what did she say? How do you manifest?
Manifestation is first in both in action and word.
Yes.
To ask and to go fulfill what you want.
Yes.
So when it say, hey, I want something, say what you want. Don't act like I know what you want.
Yeah.
If you need $5 to go down to the corner store, don't whine.
Yeah.
Come ask me. Don't cry thinking I know your cries is for a specific ask.
Yeah.
So she used to get that crying stuff out of us real quick because she says, I don't understand that. I don't know what you want. So say what you want.
Yes.
I'll give you what you need.
Truly.
And then you'll proceed. That's exactly how she used to always lay it out.
So do you feel like inside, because you're a father,
Yeah.
Your daughter's 17.
Yes.
Do you feel like inside of the relationship with your daughter that has have you duplicated that relationship down to her?
Yeah, absolutely. Because although she has the opportunity to be very privileged,
yeah,
right?
Yes.
She's grown up not like me, but I give her consequence.
Okay.
So she knows that everything's not promised or given. She has to provide me a detail of what she wants in order to get it. So even though eventually maybe something will happen because she has articulated what she needs, it's not given. And I make sure that she understands that she has to earn it, even though she has a privileged lifestyle. So she knows a result will only come from her action.
Okay.
It's not going to come otherwise.
Yes.
And I don't give her any clue. And now she's watching her father, live. And she knows that I work very hard to produce a result. So she knows if she doesn't go out and do the same, nothing's going to happen.
So do you kind of feel like, I once saw Shaquille O'Neal I saw a clip that he did where he was talking to his kids and his kids were like, I'm rich. And he was like, whoa, 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 y'all ain't rich.
Exactly.
I'm rich.
I tell my daughter that every day.
You literally tell her that every day?
She most recently asked for a car.
Okay.
She just turned 17.
What kind of car?
She asked for a car like what I drive. Right? Now,
Booker has several cars for the record. Literally several. 2 of them are very classic and very expensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
wow.
I love cars and I have a few of them that are very nice. But that doesn't mean she has nice cars.
Right, of course not.
And it doesn't also mean that she gets what I get.
Got it.
You feel me?
So you're single.
I'm single.
When it is time to not be single.
Yeah.
Are you going to be that way with your wife?
No, that's different.
It is. How is that different?
Well, you're talking about dependent. So my daughter right now is dependent, and I'm trying to grow her and mature her.
Okay.
So that's a little bit different.
Okay.
Because let's go back 15 steps. To be my wife, for sure, or in relationship, you're going to have have been matured and put together yourself.
Got it.
So the nurturing and kind of building of that person like I'm doing with my daughter, that won't exist with the wife. However, for my daughter who's still learning how to navigate, she has to learn until she does something, a result doesn't come. I'm just not going to give her a result.
You're building the character.
I got to.
Yes, I agree.
Because this is for sure. I also told her,
yeah,
I'm not going to come save you with money.
Oh.
So when you get out here in the real world, I won't let you reach the depth of what will happen.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to save you on the way down.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to allow you. I'm going to pick you up.
Let you fall.
I'm going to pick you up, but I'm going to let you fall.
Yeah. That's the bar.
I'm going to pick you up, but I'm going to let you fall.
It's giving resilience.
Yes.
It's giving dust yourself off.
Yes.
It's giving don't give up.
Yeah, it does because
it breeds character, to be honest.
What happens when you fall, right? As a person, you feel the pain, right?
Absolutely.
If somebody's always preventing you from feeling the pain,
then you'll be terrified of feeling pain. And you won't try to feel pain. You'll do everything to avoid it.
The body and your spirit and your character is everything learned.
Yes.
Muscle memory,
yes.
Mental memory,
yes.
Mental stability,
yes.
Character stability, in my opinion, is something learned over time. And your body adapts and learns to whatever you're putting in it from a health standpoint, mentally, what you're feeding yourself mentally,
yes.
What character as far as your surroundings, everything about you adapts. That's just the natural piece of what God created.
Mm-hmm.
When God created heavens and earth, he put humans on earth. They adapted to what he created.
Touche.
God created a tree. He didn't tell you what you would build from the tree. He doesn't build a table. He just built the tree, and the table's made from the tree.
Yeah.
He built the forest
Yes.
for you to figure out how to navigate the forest to build civilization.
Okay.
You see?
I absolutely do. This is so good.
So
Like,
in all of those things, she has to learn in her character, my daughter, what it's like to recover,
Yeah.
resolve,
Yeah.
commit,
Repair.
and repair.
Yes. Committing is such a big thing. I was actually just, oh my goodness, what book is it? It wasn't a book. It was this man that never records himself speaking. Well, hang on a second. I have to get the name of this man. He never, ever, he doesn't record anything that he does. He absolutely does not let anybody that you have to pay him in order to work with him.
Okay.
His name is Steve Hardison.
Okay.
Have you heard of him?
I've heard of him.
You
Yes.
have? I'm shocked because most people have not heard of him.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Hardison talks about you have to know who you are.
Yes.
And he does a lot of coaching. He's the ultimate coach, right? And so you have to know who you are. And so I was listening, he's this 2-hour speech where he's talking about a football player that he worked with, and he tells this story. And the football player's a lineman. And he said, who's the greatest lineman of all time?
Right.
And he hesitated.
Mm-hmm.
And after they finished their talk, they were wrapping up. And the football player said, I would like for you to come to my away games.
Yeah.
And Steve Hardison said, no, I'm not going to come to your away games, but why would I go to away games when you don't even know who you are?
Right.
Like, so I feel like inside of breeding that character, you allow for someone to find themselves. You allow for someone to find their standard, what they will put up with, what they won't put up with.
Correct.
And again, it goes back to Napoleon Hill and drifting. If you're always being saved, like you said, if you're always getting someone to give you the handout, if you're always, life is just easy,
right,
then you don't know what it means to work hard. You don't know what resilience means. You don't know any of those things.
Nope.
And it's, I feel like, just to tell a personal story, I remember when I was like 10, and this is shortly after my dad had hurt himself, and my mom was studying to get her engineering degree and all the things. I hope I don't cry when I tell this story because I'm very emotionally connected to my family.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to think of like butterflies and bunnies while I tell the story, like lollipop drops. But I think about how when I was really young, I woke up in the middle of the night to go to the washroom. That's the bathroom in Canada.
Yeah.
And in our house, I shared a room with my sister Lauren, and right across the hallway was the bathroom.
Okay.
But when I woke up, I heard something in the kitchen. And so we learned growing up, if you ever hear a noise in the house in the middle of the night, it's like 2:00 in the morning.
Right.
If you ever hear a noise in the house, do not go look, right? Don't go look. We are not, some people are like, what's that? Like, no, don't go look. But me being a rebel at heart, I definitely wanted to know, what is the noise coming out of the kitchen?
Right.
So the way that our house was set up is if you were to come out of the bedroom and go to the right and walk down the hallway, to the left, there's either the kitchen or there's to the straight ahead, it's the living room, right? But they're separated by a wall.
Right.
So the wall, when I turn left to go into the kitchen, you can't see the dining room table without because the fridge blocks the view. So as I come around the corner, I go on really close to the fridge and I peek around the fridge to see. And in the middle of the night, 2:00 in the morning, there's my mom. I'm not going to cry. There's my mom sobbing over her homework, studying in the middle of the night, just crying. And I slunk back to my room. Booker, I promise you, I wanted to melt and disappear because in that moment, I thought that I had saw my mom in a moment of weakness. But what I actually realized, I didn't go to the washroom, I went straight to bed, is that is one of the strongest moments I have ever seen my mother. Because in a few hours, she would be up getting all of us kids ready to go for school with a smile on her face. In that moment, well, not in that moment, but later down the line, I realized that, she was taking care of my dad. She was going to school. She had a full-time job, and my mom always showed up with poise. She always showed up like, I'm ready. I can do this with an I can positive attitude. And so I feel like it's those moments, those pivotal moments that really develop and chiseled in on our character. Yeah. And I didn't know that was such a pivotal point for my life, but it was such a pivotal point for our lives. And sometimes when you allow God to do what God is doing, source, universe, call it whatever you want, I don't care. But when you allow God to do what God does and put you through the process, Have you ever seen the Black Cinderella with Whitney Houston and Brandy?
Yes.
I love when Whitney Houston says it's like sandpaper.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna rub you and it's uncomfortable and it hurts and it scratches and all of these things. But in the end, you come out smooth and polished.
Yeah.
And that sandpaper is
Absolutely.
worn out and raggedy. So allow the things in life to smooth you out. Allow the things in life to make you more resilient, to give you more character, because the truth is, as you evolve as that level of a person, you attract higher quality people
Yes.
that are just in alignment with you. So I actually love that you're doing that for your daughter. Sorry, I probably shouldn't say that if you ever watch the show, and I'm sure that you will, because it's your dad. I'm kind of on his side a little bit.
No. Look, and again, that's my opinion. That's how I, not trying to teach people, how to raise their kids, but that is proven fruitful. I mean, my daughter is a nationally ranked wrestler. She is very proficient in golf. She's an honor student. And
did you say she had to get A's and B's?
No, I didn't.
Wow.
What I told her, though, was you should be giving your very, very best. And I need to know the result is of your very best, not just a result.
Got it.
And I'm going to know the difference.
How?
Because she will have to produce and I have to show those results. So, and we'll work on what's not working. So, for example, when she was younger, she struggled in math.
Okay.
Because she said she hated math.
Got it.
And we got down to the nitty gritty on why you hated math. She said, I just don't like to sit down because it's time consuming.
Okay.
So it wasn't that you weren't intellectually adept enough to do the math. You were just making an excuse, and we were at a character piece about her commitment and time.
Yeah.
This was when she was 8.
Wow.
Now she's an honor student, and her best subjects are math.
I love that.
But it was when, instead of going to get ice cream, because I was a single parent with my daughter. Okay, so I co-parented.
Wow.
And the effective ways of co-parenting, the way I showed up, because my daughter did live full-time with her mom, who does an amazing job with her, is I didn't use my time to make up for time as some father who maybe been absent. And that's a mistake some fathers may do. They subject and supplant into their time with their kids to want to give their kids an abundance of what makes them smile, to replace their presence. But what your child really needs when they have your presence is the foundational pieces that will grow their life.
Yeah.
So instead of we still did the things like the milkshakes and the get your nails done, but we couldn't do those things until she sat down at the computer and worked on her math.
Wow. That's so good.
And then we got to the results of everything else.
Yeah.
And I wasn't concerned. People would say, well, what did you do with your daughter over the weekend? We did math.
Okay.
And it was like, well, you only get her a couple weekends a month. Why would you? But it's all bear fruit. And she has a lot of thanks for that, because guess what? Now she has scholarships to go to school.
Yeah.
All these things she earned on her own because she put in the work and she has these results.
Okay.
So now she sees, because I put in the work and my character is built right, I have a dad. I don't need my dad.
Nice.
I have a person that's going to pick me up. I don't need somebody to drag me along. Those are two different things.
Absolutely.
And so for me, that's how also I work in my own independent self, because again, as a root, I got it from my mom.
Yeah.
And not that she intentionally wanted to make it rough for us.
Yeah.
But she knew the rougher part was to grow up and be an adult, an unproductive adult or unproductive citizen, where we weren't realizing our dreams, because she knew we were dreamers. And the worst thing you could have is a person you know that's dreaming, and you're not giving them the balance of characters that's going to allow their dreams to manifest.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing you can do for a dreamer.
True.
Because everybody wants to accomplish what's in their head or what they're imagining or what great idea they have. But if nobody around you are providing you these character pieces, foundational, that gets you all the way through, you're always going to be starting over or missing the point or woulda, coulda, shoulda, wouldas. And I don't want that for my daughter.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I love that. Okay, so I wanna shift gears because I'm so curious.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of as far as like healing goes, when you're more of a healed person, I feel like you attract more of healed people.
Yeah.
But I also will say that I do have some girlfriends that are living in it. You're in Atlanta.
Yes.
I do have some girlfriends that are living in Atlanta, and I've been hearing terrible dating stories. I mean, literal horror stories.
Atlanta
One,
dating.
one of these
Oh,
days, I'm
Lord.
going to have to share some of these horror stories that I've
Oh,
heard,
my.
guys, because it is wild out here.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to know, for you,
Yes.
so you're single.
Yep, single.
What does it look like, as in single till you're married?
Single till I'm married.
What does it look like as a successful man in Atlanta that is viral all over the world?
Yep.
People know, if they don't know you, they find out that they know you because they know your community.
Through our work, yeah.
Yes. What is dating like for you?
It's rough waters out in these seas, okay?
It's rough waters.
It's rough
You
waters
got
out in these
horror
seas.
stories too? Oh my gosh.
It's rough waters. Look, the biggest thing is, especially if you're in a compass of your own. When I say compass, like you have a direction. Like
Yes.
you know where you're going.
Yes.
You know where you're headed.
Yeah.
And you know why you're headed there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know your why. You're executing to your why.
Mm-hmm.
Look, there are great women, I'm sure, in and around Atlanta.
Absolutely.
Right? There's great women everywhere. However, the biggest thing you run into in dating is those who haven't quite found themselves, but try to find themselves through you.
Through the man.
Through the man.
Wait, break that down. Run that back.
Okay. They don't necessarily have a unique compass in their boat of where they're headed. So they'll rather jump in your boat.
I got so many questions swirling right
Because
now. I'm coming for you, ladies. Just
Okay.
so you know. I'm ready.
Okay. So they jump in your boat because they know your boat's headed somewhere.
Yes.
And they think along the way, you'll stop at these destinations that allow them to get off and get the growth and learn and raise and catapult. And then boom, you guys are this.
Don't say you guys. Whoa,
no,
whoa. Hold up
in
now.
general, women and man, woman and man, you have landed together and you've grown together and you're this great couples goals, right? You see it all over Instagram.
Yeah, I hate it.
Couples goals, black love.
Everybody's breaking up.
But it's a depiction.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Couples are not a depiction of what you look like.
Yeah.
It's an action of what you actually are.
I agree.
Right? Dating should be an action of what you already are. So I ask people all this question. Are we dating to learn the essences of who we are as people? Or are we just going to have fun?
What's the answer usually?
It has to be a good mixture of both. Because if you're just having fun, you're not creating you're not creating memories that matter. You're just having experiences. It's empty, right? Yeah. So dating can be, in Atlanta, a little bit of a rough sail on the boat. But what I typically try to do is anchor my boat and stay still. What happens when you're just sitting still in the water? A lot of things gravitate to you.
Is that a fact?
Because the tide brings it towards you.
Is that a fact?
Any experience I've ever had, if you're ever sitting in water, right? Just because you stop moving, did the water stop moving?
Of course not.
That's how life is. Life's not going to stop lifing.
I agree.
Life is going to keep lifing.
Yes.
So instead of you trying to keep up with the pace of life, maybe sometimes you should sit still.
Okay, so I have to rewind. I have to take 14 steps back.
Got it.
Okay, because you said something and I literally had alarms going off in my head because I feel like in this day and age, society wants and demands so much from a woman.
Yeah.
What you just said was a man, and especially you, and I love that you have so much certainty in your path and where you're going, and a lot of men do not have that. So you are far ahead a lot of men, especially from what I'm hearing inside of these Atlanta streets.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, you just said, but a woman won't have a compass, that she'll want to come to your boat and go with you on the ride. That is feminine. That is what a woman is supposed to want to do naturally. Now, there are women out here that absolutely have a path and a thing. I have a path. You know what I mean? I have my own thing that's going on. And I love that. And I think that that's really important. But also, I think it's important for men to understand that they're asking women to be the nurturer. They're asking women to be the lover. They're asking women to be the person that can bounce ideas off of and the person that can grow with the person that can expand their capacity, right? They're asking women to be these things. But then at the same time, they're like, oh, but you need to have a clear vision of where you're going. Well, I don't think men understand, and y'all let me know in the comments, and also you can let me know.
Got it.
I don't think men understand how much is demanded of a woman. Even if she is the bread maker in a family, the woman is usually the primary homemaker, even still.
Yeah, nowadays, women make great livings. I mean, right now is a great...
But they'll still take care of the kids. They'll still have the house cleaned. They'll still have the meals cooked. And I'm not saying they cook them because I'm an avid believer in help, right?
Yeah.
Cleaners and chefs and all of these different things. But what I am saying is that the demand is so high, but the filling of the requirement is not there.
Yes, that's true.
Well, and I feel like successful women have it harder.
Well, because you're playing multiple roles, right? And for women, right, they still are, the main nurturer of a family and children and co-parenting. Fatherhood is great, but, I'm just being real as a father. If you're in a relationship or a couple or married, in a natural sense, because I think it's God-given, the woman's going to nurture more, build more. So there's a little bit of that. What I kind of really mean by compass is, look, I don't mind people necessarily joining the boat, but however, if you get in the boat, what I mean by having your own compass, you have some skill sets and some substantiated character skill sets that would,
what does that mean?
That means if I need or lose control of the wheel of that boat.
Okay. That's fair.
Right?
Yes,
that's I have
fair.
somebody along with in a partnership.
Yes, okay. I can get down with that. Yeah. When we were talking about compass, they got to know where they're going. No!
I need them to have the skill set to know where we're going, because if you're just, yes, in a masculine sense, I want to provide that guidance and that security and say, I got it, right?
Yes.
But the worst things you can do, I think, in my opinion as a man, is think that you cannot be vulnerable to understand that you also are going to need some guidance as a man.
Well, that's the thing. The thing about men need all the guidance, to be completely honest, because most men don't pay attention to detail. Not all men. And a feminine trait is we see everything. We just don't say everything.
Right.
I just did a post not too long ago on Instagram where I was talking about people want to say manipulation. Oh, that's manipulative. Yes, there's manipulation is not always bad. Manipulation just means you're trying to move things along for the best benefit of either it's going to be a positive result or a negative result. You're trying to get a result, right?
And what's the example of manipulation so I can understand it?
I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
So inside of a relationship for women, especially dealing with successful men, because successful men have ego. Successful men that do have a compass oftentimes think that they're doing it the right way.
Got it.
Successful men that do have a compass that believe that they're doing it the right way also they might value what you have to say, but if it's their woman telling them, it's almost like, thank you for that, but I'm going to go this way, right? Okay. And not always, but that until they build that trust inside of you to trust what you have to say, that is a thing that sometimes happens. And even still, there are some times where the manipulation of a woman is to plant the seed.
Okay.
Plant the seed of an idea.
Okay.
Way before, there are some things you can't just say directly to a man.
Oh, so you just like the growth, right?
Yes.
This one thing that I have grown to know, and this is something I've learned from being around someone I admire, Bishop T.D. Jakes, and what he talks about. You got to be good soil.
Yes.
The thing about you, your harvest, your life is your harvest.
Yes.
Right? But in order to harvest anything, you have to be a basin to where a seed can go in.
Yeah.
And it, even though it's growing underneath the ground, it's still growing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But any watering, anything nutrients going into it, I don't care what you put on any plant. If it's planted in bad soil, it's just dead. It's not going to grow.
I've experienced that.
So you have to focus on first being a pliable, nurtured set of character boundaries for yourself, so that whatever comes your way, whatever waters into you, whoever comes your way is a watering into the manifestation of ultimately what you're going to be. Because a piece of grass is a piece of grass underneath the ground. It's just when you do see the grass come above the ground, that doesn't mean that it wasn't growing that whole time.
Yeah.
Same thing I say for women that implant to men. But for women in relationships, they first have to be implanting to a man that's in good soil, that's ready for that kind of watering.
Yes.
So for me, I tell men, stay single until you have cultivated your ground to be nurturing enough, or ability to be nurtured and watered enough that you're good soil. So when a woman comes along or the right dating situation comes along, you'll know exactly that it's the right link because you'll feel the growth for you two together, growth for yourself individually, because you still have to keep your individual piece about you.
Absolutely.
While being in union.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel how dating has gotten off track. And it gets off track a lot in these Atlanta streets, or most streets, because of our access to a depiction of
what people think.
Of what people think your relationship is.
But it's not reality. It's a perception.
It's a perception.
So here's a question. Do you feel as though, number one, and I have so many questions too, because I feel like I'm hearing, your nurturing came from God. I'm hearing so many principle-based things.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's made you at all inside of dating? Have you ever felt cold?
No. Actually, it's made me a better receiver.
Really?
Yeah. Because
break that down.
Yeah, it's just made me a better receiver of what's coming to me, to be able to discern what is and what's not. I can deflect it and repel it easier because I've built a boundary of my character and what's going to work and what's good. And the person knows that they are talking to someone that is in good ground, that's stable, that understands. Yeah. And when I say stable, that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be all around finances or whatever the case is, because one, people need to stop looking for a ready-made everything perfect, right? My man got to have the best job. He has to be the leader of this corporate institution. He has to be making 6+ figures. He has to be driving a nice car. He has to be able to take all these things. That, if you find that, great. But that's not what you should be looking for. You should be looking for someone that's solid, that has a good leadership for you. As a man.
That is the key. And I think that is...
And the rest will come.
That's the most challenging.
Yeah.
Because a lot of men don't possess leadership. Not all men. Yeah. Now, some men absolutely. And you feel it. You literally feel it inside of an essence. When you know who you are and you're committed to the purpose that God has put on your heart, or you're just committed to what it is that you're doing on this planet. When that's the thing, you feel it. And those men are very hard. Not hard. They're more challenging. They're probably married. Or they're more challenging to find. Most men, we live in a new generation of where I feel as though men are like sassy. And I'm talking about heterosexual men. Like straight men are sassy. They expect to be one. They think they're the prize. And I'm over here looking at it. And this has not been my experience. But when I see the toxic stuff that's said on these podcasts, and I see the conversations that are had just, on whatever it may be, the YouTube channel or the Spotify or whatever, and you hear men say things like, man, I'm the prize. Oh, so you can be one? That's the most feminine statement I've ever heard, because the truth is, or both the prize, number one. And when you find a person that's on your wavelength and are aligned with that person, a woman expands capacity.
Yeah, but that goes back to...
When loved properly.
When loved properly. I just tell you, that goes back to just the foundation of, again, knowing your why, right?
But break that down.
Knowing your why. So you have to always know on the basis of why you do anything, or you are who you are, and what you're doing. So you're not moved left, right, or center off that lily pad all the time.
Agreed.
And a lot of people get
You're
moved
saying in your purpose.
In your purpose. But your purpose evolves into these relationships. So when men say, I'm the catch, or women say, hey, I'm the catch, instead of just being in positions to say, I'm the catch, or I'm the winner, or I'm the prize, I don't really need to necessarily articulate that, because I already know inside of me that I'm special, because I already have my why, and I already have my guidance. So before you go trying to make your perfect meet another perfect, just know you're good, and whatever, if you sit still enough, it's going to gravitate towards you anyway.
I don't agree with that, Booker. I feel like you got to go get what's you. As a man, I feel like you gotta go get what you want. I feel like women is me personally, living in a world where I believe that it is our greatest opportunity. There's nothing more powerful than a woman inside of her divine feminine. There's nothing more powerful on the planet. Mountains will move for a woman inside of her divine feminine. In my heart of hearts, inside of my experience, if I had to gravitate towards the man, like say, I'm coming to get you.
Oh, you're talking about in courtship. Now, what I'm meaning by that is you sitting and waiting. It's just the sitting and waiting is about your character. It's not about your action to go date or go, if you're attracted to a woman and try to court them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like you sit waiting on a woman to come to you.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying you're sitting and wait to make sure your character is stabilized. So whatever in your life is lifing around you, when it's time to go get it, you're going to be able to go get it directly.
Got it. So you are saying go get it when it's time.
Yeah.
You just have to know who you are.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that clarity.
Yeah.
I feel like I was like, oh my God,
Yeah,
I cannot let this just be a thing out here.
No. I'm not saying that you have to be passive about what you want, because I'm not passive about what I want. But
how does a woman know if you want her?
How would a woman know if I want her?
Yeah, specifically.
Given that I'm a basic man of intention, and there's choices around the intention, and there's choices around whether you do or you don't. If I'm doing, then that is the basis of I want you, because I have the definite option to not do. And when I choose to not do, meaning I don't call you at all. I don't take you out at all. I don't try to figure out how your day is going at all.
Yeah.
Then I don't want you.
So if you call, you go on dates.
Yeah. If I'm intentionally trying to spend my energy in and around your energy, then that is the courtship. That is the garnering of whatever. Now, I'm not going to try to love bomb you or jade you with actions that supersede what the natural state of things are going to be.
I'm like, this is a whole other podcast conversation right here, but
that might be for a different topic, different day.
No, that's a great topic.
I don't want to get deep into it, but I'm just saying, in the basis, you talked about single and why the waters are choppy and dating. That's because people are living kind of just in an unrealistic space of perfection. Meaning, if I'm going to be whatever, then I needed it to all be tied up in a bowl, in a bag, ready for me to take out of the store. Sometimes you have to sit down and look around everything in the store, then go directly get what it is that you need, and then take it out.
So you're in a space of looking at everything in the store.
Yeah, because my intention is very specific to me of what I want.
I love that.
Yeah.
Booker T. Washington, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, great. So one other question that I do, and then we're going to shift gears to another fun part of the show.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know, inside of dating, because I do see a lot of women that are realistically kind of expecting men to lead with their wallet.
Oh, yeah.
Have you experienced that? And how do you fight it?
Yeah, I've experienced it. I've learned from it and grown from it. It is a thing. I would say it's almost like you need to go to that school of hard knocks to where you get used a little bit.
Not you.
Yeah, I mean, because in some sense of it, that's what it is. Let's be 100% transparent. Some people, the terms sponsor, sugar daddy, all these things, associates, friends. I have friends. I'm not dating. I just have friends. All of these different terminologies. Yeah, pay my bills. If you want my time, you're going to have to take care of things for me if you want my time.
But they don't lead with that.
They do. Some do.
But most don't.
But some do.
But most don't. Most actually probably expect it.
If you put it on a graph, that arrow's going up, not down. Because we're living, unfortunately, in an economy and a society where things are more expensive.
Yes.
A depiction, and you can blame social media for this, the depiction of what lifestyle is and what's good lifestyle is in your face 24/7, 365. So your mentalness is attached to what you see and what you experience. Remember what we was talking about in the childhood, right?
Yes.
We were put around seeing and looking at things so that we can breed a result down the road.
Yeah.
So if people are tied to, this is what couple goals looks like. This is what going out on vacations looks like. This is what, my home environment should look like. This is what my car environment should look like. This is what my dinner should look like.
It's all based on outward.
It's outward.
Yeah.
And then what I need to do is attach myself to something that's going to give me that fix.
What's the fix? The things?
All the things. So the fix is all the things. And when I see the person that's going to provide it, right?
Yeah.
I have always said this. If a woman says, hey, what you won't do, another man will, I said, that is the perfect man for you. Because it's not me. Exit stage left.
But you know what? That is true. What one man won't do, another man absolutely will.
And that's perfect for him.
Yeah,
And I like that for him.
Yeah.
Because
and for her.
And for her.
Yeah. Y'all should be together.
That is the boat and the tide meeting together as it should.
Yeah.
Right? But for me specifically, I'm going to do for the person I have intention for.
Yeah.
When I say about those choices, the person that's for me is going to know when, not even the grandiose things, but the things that really matter.
What matters?
To that person. Maybe it's something in their life that they're trying to achieve.
Oh.
Maybe it is, hey, I'm trying to start a business where you sit and listen to what I want to talk about.
Got it.
Why does it have to be a Chanel purse?
Why can't it be both?
It can be both.
Why do you have to choose?
It doesn't have to be a
Why
choice.
do we have to live in a world where I feel like it's like either this or that? I want both, and also there's more.
But you actually get both and more.
How?
But the way to get both and more is to have an alignment on the small things and the things that matter the most.
I agree on that.
Yeah.
Because I would never, in fact, let me tell ladies, is this thing on? Kenny, you can hear me? This is we're tracking right here. Ladies,
please catch this.
Stop asking men to buy you things. Stop asking men to pay your bills when you haven't put in any effort with that man, when he doesn't actually know you, what you're about, what you're after, your dreams, your aspirations, or anything. Because this is the truth. Masculine energy that loves you wants to solve a problem. Period. That's the end of story. So if he knows that you have a problem and he's not stepping forward to solve the problem, he doesn't love you. Or he just doesn't care enough to actually do the thing that's going to solve that problem. And I know that sounds terrible, but it's just the truth. If you ask that man for things, now you've put yourself in a box that you don't want to be in. I find this has been my experience, and I often, well, not even often, I really only attract very successful men. That for me, I'm like, men are like women, beautiful women are a dime a dozen. Yeah, well, successful men, monetarily successful men are a dime a dozen for me. What I would say is state the need. State the need.
Yep.
And if he wants to solve the problem, he will solve the problem. And if he does not want to solve the problem, he won't solve the problem. And if he's worth getting to know, then stay getting to know that person. Because also what we've learned is sometimes people want to get a return on their investment. And we're not talking about the simple act of sex. We're not talking about the simple act of, I'm a pretty girl on your shoulder. No, we're talking about what intangible, non-physical things can you bring to the table? And then what tangible and physical things do you also bring to the table? Because it is a two-way street. But I am really tired of this toxic narrative of women leading with, in order to have my time, you have to take care of me. And I have my whole circle is affluent, right? I do have guy friends, they're all affluent. And I hear when they're in a relationship, it's not a question of I'm going to pay the bills. Men that I've been with, it's not a question of I'm going to pay the bills. It's they would look at you funny, other men, if you didn't. They'd be like, first of all, what's up with you? What's going? Is everything okay? Because masculine energy that loves you wants to provide. That just becomes who you are and a desire that you would have.
The only
here we go, asterisks.
Caveat.
Okay, caveat. Here we go.
Is there must be a very big distinction that person you have chosen.
Yes.
You've chosen
yes.
to be your person.
I agree.
Right? Now, what's happening out here in real life is people aren't even each other's person and they have expectations.
I said love. You heard me say the word love, right? Masculine energy that loves you.
Yeah, but even in distinction of love, people don't even understand what that word is because they're confusing infatuation and attraction and
the honeymoon phase,
the glitz and the glam, and
love bombing.
We had a lot of great moments. You took me on this vacation and it was wonderful.
Don't take me on a trip unless I like you. For real.
And it's always if I did this, then I should expect that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I went on a trip, so I should be sleeping with you. Or I spent some time with you, or I bought you a bag. One thing about me, at least to me, in my opinion, is, especially when you get to a certain level, or I guess you understand yourself, you're not always driven by sex. So for women, particularly of a particular, beauty, they lead in a way that says, well, I know ultimately what this man wants is to tap this. So
a certain type of woman.
Not every woman. And hey, I'm not generalizing. I'm just saying, in my opinion, disclaimer, these comments are effective Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington is not effective. But look, I'm just saying, in my opinion, that is what I'm seeing and what I've experienced.
Yes.
Now, the goodness of where I think a lot of women are is when they have a greater understanding of exactly what you said in your state of who they are and what they want to be and how they want to lead into what their man can then understand them.
Yeah.
And then start filling in the bucket.
Yeah.
To lead.
Yes.
And be that masculine part.
Yes.
Also believe in the essence of the times we're in. Okay?
I hate this time.
In evolution.
Ugh.
Unfortunately, we do live in a time where it's not the caveman days. Some things are a little bit more complex in life. So you do need, if you're choosing a person, for them to be more of your partner.
Yeah.
Because you cannot drag everything along, including your woman.
But you wouldn't. I think that's this is such a great conversation. I feel like that's a common misconception. Just because you pay for everything doesn't mean you're dragging her along.
No, well, I mean, also what I mean is you also want to create such a, you want to provide, but you don't want to create a crutch of dependence.
Well, I think also, because no matter what, for me, I'm always going to have I'm speaking specifically for me, right? Yeah. I'm always going to have something going on for myself. Yeah. Like there's always going to be something. However, when I have been and when I am in relationships, I don't pay a bill because those are the men that I choose. Those are the men that choose me. And it is literally them thinking, I love to be able to do this for my person. Yes. And then I get to do things for them. I get to do random gifts and trips and, let's do this and let's do that. Let's go to dinner. Let's have fun. And literally, it's not like a matter of, oh, this person brings zero to the table. It's the desire to want to provide for your woman, monetarily speaking.
Oh, yeah. That's up to a man. That's up to each individual man and what they want to do and how they want to go about bridging the gap of choice, right?
Yeah.
Because some men want to lead in a different way in bridging the gap of choice.
Yeah.
Some men want to move into it softly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they are like, boom, unleashed of all of the things. And some men go out and they want to like, boom, here's all the gifts and the glam, and then expect it to grow over time. It's just some of it's approach. Also some of it is, in this time, do people have patience to wait?
Yeah.
If they really want it.
That part.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you don't really want it and you have some sense that this person, this man or this woman might be your person, what you in a rush for?
I'm not in a rush.
Right? So that's the other part.
Can I tell you, when I was in a rush, I made the worst choice of my life. And I went through the worst experiences. Yeah. And I'm in therapy. Anybody that knows me knows I talk about therapy all the time. I think that it is an absolute beautiful thing. And I took this assessment with my therapist called SYMBIS. And essentially it talks about how prepared are you for, it's inevitably to get to marriage, but how you think, the way that you think with your partner or with yourself. And it's really revealed a lot of things for me. And I realized that, so there's like do you romanticize marriage? Are you, they all start with R's. Are you reluctant about marriage? Are you resolute about marriage? So there's 5 different ways that it looks at marriage. And I now am a reluctant. Oh, I learned that about myself. So reluctant doesn't mean I don't want to be married. It means now I want to cross every T and I want to dot every I. Okay. And I want to observe exactly what it is that I'm getting from this person to see, like, are we in alignment for real? Because I'm not in a rush. I don't want to rush to do it wrong. And I feel like a lot of people in this day and age are rushing to do it wrong. Now, I will say to my ladies one more time, is this thing on? When you can do for yourself, you get to operate from want versus need. When you are in a way of where you are constantly counting on someone else, and when you do become dependent on someone else, you're really giving your power away. So nowhere am I saying, ladies, don't do anything. Just let your man take care of everything and be your feminine energy. No, feminine it attracts, it evolves, it does all of the different things. But I do think that really taking the time to vet like who it is that you're excited about is important.
Yeah. And that takes a little bit of quieting of the noise, right?
Yeah.
When you are, that's what I mean by noise. You are always on the go, in a rush, all of the screams of these experiences. That's a lot of noise into what's happening. And you aren't really listening to every word. You're in a rush to the next event, the next invite, the next dinner, the next movie, the next this, the next that. So you're not really taking the quiet time to grow and grow with one another.
How do you grow quietly?
How do you grow quietly?
You
Me?
specifically.
Oh, specific?
Yeah.
I immerse myself in the things that make me personally happy first.
Like no,
First and foremost.
But I mean, like, what activities do you do?
I mean, specifically, I like to meditate.
No, not for you. I mean, with your person, like to
Oh,
quietly
with
get
my
to know
person
your
I'm
person.
dating and with?
Yeah.
Oh, with a person I'm dating and with, I like to take the time to really dive into your life and how you're planning your life and how you're going through your thought processes. Because if you quiet and listen to people and listen to their thought processes, you get a chance to see in their natural states how they think and how they adapt.
Yeah.
Right? And then, so in relationship, when things don't go perfect, because not all things are going to go perfect in a relationship.
Very true.
You're going to always have to rely upon what you know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what I know is what I've learned. And if you haven't spent any time learning anything about the person you're with, you don't know nothing.
Yeah.
If you don't know nothing, then you can't rely on the next step or the next evolution of what your relationship is going to go, because your relationship is going to evolve.
Yes.
Your dating is going to evolve.
Yes.
And it's going to evolve into something either you've learned or something you're hoping to learn or you're subject to as a consequence because you didn't learn anything. Because you spent too much time funning and not lifing.
Yeah.
And then you end up back where you started and then you go date again, thinking it's going to be a different result. And that's why these streets are choppy.
Ooh, go ahead and preach. You want to know something? You guys want to know something? Well, you can't answer. You want to know something that I love to do?
What?
When I'm getting to know someone?
Okay.
I want to play Uno.
I
want to play Uno.
That's a great game, by the way.
I want to play Uno.
Like
and
Uno.
The reason why I want to play Uno, number one, I want to see how do you deal with defeat.
Yeah.
Because you're going to lose. Number two, I want to see how do you deal.
So you're...
I'm a great Uno
Got
player.
it. So
great Uno
note
player.
to self.
Yes.
Sarah, if you're dating her, be up on your Uno game.
Just saying.
Clearly.
Yes, this is a real thing.
Yeah.
And I also want to know, how do you have fun? Because literally, like, trust me, I love all the things. I love all of the things. I love the cars and the designers and the travel. I love all of the things. But if I don't like you, if I can't have fun with a $6 game of cards, how can I? Why is it fun now because we're spending more money? Is it more fun now because the food is the same everywhere you go? Okay, there's really not many changes.
I've never met a cake icing can't solve. So if you get the right flavor icing, it's gonna make any cake taste good.
Yeah.
So when you're glossing over everything with the this and the that, that's just the icing.
Yeah.
But like what you're describing is like the cake. That's like,
I need the cake.
That's like the middle piece of acceptance, the middle piece of who you are.
Yes.
How you adapt to wins, losses, competition.
Can we laugh?
Grace, laugh.
Conversation.
Right.
Also, I get to see your strategy game.
Yeah.
Because Uno is actually very strategic. For those of you that think it's not just a game, okay? This is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle. But I say that to say those kinds of things. And I love to sit in the car and talk.
Yeah.
I want to get a clear idea. And I think that is what is necessary. On It's Giving, we talk all things for transformation and healing. And a lot of the times, number one, I think before you even get into getting to know a person for who they are, is we've got to know who we are for who we are.
Correct.
We've got to take the time to be self-aware, take the time to see like what makes us tick, what doesn't, what works, what doesn't. And if at any given point you want to change it, shift your standard.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really the key to being successful in anything, right? Whether it be romantic, platonic, professional, or personal, whatever it may be, we've got to be so self-aware and hone in on that where you can be like, it's giving fulfilled. Yeah. It's giving purposeful.
But you got to be fulfilled in yourself. Again, it takes me back to that. You got to be fulfilled in yourself, and you got to be willing to strategize your life and move and accept, and you learn a lot in losing.
Yeah.
So nothing is in perfection. You have to be okay.
I'm a big failure.
The loss is going to come.
Oh, so many times.
You have to be accepting of loss. That is where you grow, in my opinion. And it has to be settled in your spirit.
Yeah.
Most people say they're settled with loss until they get one. And then it's like, oh my gosh. But also the thing you shouldn't be doing is scurrying to protect yourself from losses that are ultimately going to come.
Like what?
You ever been ice skating?
Yes.
You're from Canada, right?
I'm from Canada, yes.
So you ever seen anybody when they're trying to learn to skate?
They fall all the time.
But before they fall, what are they doing before they fall?
They're trying to catch their balance on the ice.
Right. And so instead of nicely going to the ground in the moment they know that they're just going to ultimately fall, they fight it. And they fight it and they flail and they do all the things to prevent what's already happening. Because you know the reason you're going to fall is you didn't learn how to skate. Because a person that's already learning...
don't miss that. You have to say that again, please. Don't miss that, y'all.
The reason that person is flailing is they're trying to protect something they never learned to do to begin with.
Ooh.
So you should just go ahead and lay into what you already know you don't know. You already know you're a cheater. So why fake in the relationship that you're not? You already know you're not very financially literate. So why flail and blame others for your financial losses when the truth is you would rather spend your money on Jordans than invest $100 on your Robinhood app, because that's probably the most conscious thing you should do. So you flail, and the flailing results into toxic dating.
Ooh. Oh, so it's like, why are you looking for a healed relationship when you haven't done the work to be healed?
And you know it.
And you know it. And then you fight it.
Look, I can't swim. So I'm not going, look, if we're going on vacation, I'm just telling this to everybody in the world. I'm literally putting on 2 life jackets. I know me. I cannot swim. I'm a flailer in the water. Now, yes, I sure know how to swim. To a degree.
Okay.
But it's because I know myself. So because I know myself, I'm not going to attempt to do anything outside of the boundaries of what I know, or I'm going to attempt to learn first.
Okay.
That doesn't take away from learning.
Yeah.
So the learning in dating or anything about yourself is spend that time in immersing yourself in learning so that you know who you are and what you're doing. Because the flailing is just a cover-up, to be honest.
That you don't know what you're doing.
You don't know what you're doing.
Oh, just fall.
Just go ahead and
Let
fall.
it go.
Because in the falling, you're going to immediately and mentally, and this is God-given.
Yeah.
When you hit the ground and when it's ultimately like and there's no way out, you immediately begin to access everything in your mental capacity on how to get up. Mm-hmm. So what does a person do, Miss Skater, when they're falling? Then they start feeling ways to brace themselves to get up. Oh. As a natural instinct.
Yes.
That's how dating is, how life is.
Just out here falling. But we get back up.
We get back up.
And we fall better.
You fall
more gracefully.
Yes. Because now you have adapted and learned more and more until you get to perfection.
Yes.
But don't fake it, knowing you can't.
Sheesh. I've fallen on the ice. I'm not even going to lie. Yeah. I've fallen in everything. Look, y'all, I'm a professional failure out here, but that's also why I succeed.
Yeah.
Because I'm not afraid to start new. I'm not afraid to start over. I'm not afraid to look dumb. And I also would never go to a professional skater and be like, let's have a skating competition.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like you said, you've got to raise your level of evolution, raise your level of awareness, and be willing to say, I can't skate. Absolutely. My knees go knock-kneed actually when I try to. You got to be okay with saying the truth of what it actually is.
And strategize in the ways that you start slow.
Yeah.
Hey, I know I can't skate, so instead of flail, I'm going to hold on to the rail. But the reason they don't do that is because they feel embarrassed if they do. Because you know what? They want to show the world.
That they're great, and they're not.
That they're not flawed.
Yes. And we're all flawed.
Accept it.
Oh, flawed.
The faster you accept where you're flawed,
the
more the movement in your life will go faster.
So true.
I'm just saying.
That's the biggest fact I've ever heard in my life. Ooh, okay. So now we got to jump to this new, to a part of our show where we go, it's giving versus it's giving. So essentially it's a positive versus a negative.
Okay.
Here we go. They're rapid fire. These are fun. Okay. So my question to you is, you have a new woman that moves into one of your developments.
Got it.
And she's like the girl on Friday that wears no clothing all the time in the community.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
In your mind. Friday. Yeah. In your mind, it's giving, you got to go. Let me figure something out. or it's giving, she could stay. It's a good view.
It is giving. It is giving. She can stay. It's a good view, but because the thing about it is if you take it back what I said last, if you're comfortable in yourself, you're not going to, you're going to stay in the lane that serves you. You're not going to get too far. So that person can absolutely be doing anything and everything for them. Like this woman moving into the community half dressed, that's perfectly fine and be a good view. It's not my cup of tea, but it could be anybody. But it could be somebody's cup of tea.
Okay. Okay, great. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. Okay, next question.
Yeah.
You are in a relationship
Mm-hmm.
and your girl gets into an altercation with a man, because a stranger, because he tries grabbing her in an inappropriate way. In your mind, it's giving, I'm about to handle business with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's giving, let me take my girl and lead us away from this dangerous situation.
It could be both because it's given. Let me deal with this guy. I could deal with this guy in a multitude of ways. Don't necessarily have to be fully physical.
Okay.
Because it may call for me as a person and knowing me, I could be able to de-escalate that situation, right? But in some sense of it could be given, let's get out of here and find a more place that serves us. Because whatever environment we're in, apparently, where that action or being around other people that would feel that appropriate action is where they can just touch and do whatever and say whatever, may not be the real experience we both need. Because you remember, you're both there together.
Right.
Right? So it could be a little bit both. It could be a little bit of giving, hey, let me talk to him and see what's really happening.
Okay.
It could be, hey, maybe we just walk away because talking to this particular person is not going to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Final question.
Because your ultimate thing is you got to protect the person you're with.
Absolutely.
So you have to ascertain what protection looks like.
That is a bar.
Yeah.
Bars. Final question.
Yeah.
This is a hard one.
Okay, shoot.
You have, you're in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You and your girlfriend do not live together.
Gotcha.
She sleeps over at your house, but she forgets her toothbrush. So she uses yours without telling you until after she's used it.
Uh-huh.
In your mind, it's giving hell no to the no, like absolutely not, throw it away. Or it's giving, oh, that's fine, we kiss anyway.
It's giving, it's all good. We kiss anyway. Look, man, people got to live in.
You'll share your toothbrush?
Let me explain this to you. Okay, let me explain this to you. Right? People. If you're sharing bodily fluids and you're in each other's mouth, tell me why is the difference at your toothbrush? It's like sharing a drink.
No, it's not.
The germs don't change. The germs don't graduate and turn into something else. What are we doing?
No way I'm sharing my toothbrush.
When I'm in your mouth and kissing you, I'm getting all your germs. What's the difference with your germs being on the toothbrush?
Because the toothbrush is like tartar and plaque. And like bacteria, it's like your teeth.
But when I'm kissing you, I'm getting the same bacteria.
But not like from your dirty teeth.
The teeth are in the front of your mouth.
And in the back.
There's bacteria on your... Okay, all right. We're going to do science. Listen, everybody, okay, we're going to do science.
We need to know. Let us know in the comments.
Okay.
Do you share your toothbrush?
When you eat, the food starts in the front of your mouth.
No, it doesn't. When you chew?
When you start to bite?
Okay, when you bite, but it goes immediately to the back.
No. I'm not asking what the process is. I said, what is it you're doing when the food hits your mouth? You clamp down on it, which means the first thing touching the food is your front teeth.
Okay.
When I kiss your mouth, your lips, your teeth are next door to your lips. So you're going to experience whatever germs and whatever's happening in your mouth in that magnitude.
You don't feel like, okay, have you ever seen people that don't brush their teeth? There's like that buildup of grossness, like plaque.
Yes. But that should be, okay. So
that's on teeth. We just brush it off every day.
That's on you for not assessing this person has bad hygiene. Because that's part of the assessment of dating. So you're just gonna kiss somebody that just definitely clearly has plaque buildup on their teeth?
Me?
Yes.
No.
Exactly. So you wouldn't even get to that point of sharing toothbrush issues because you've ascertained whether this person has a clean mouth area region, period.
Oh, I just don't think I'm ever sharing my toothbrush.
I'm just saying.
I want to know. We're gonna do a vote.
Oh my
we
gosh.
need to hear from you guys.
Look,
is it giving share your
it's
toothbrush?
giving germ sharing, period. And if you're with the person,
you think it's the same. So you would you?
You just told me this person stayed over the night.
Yeah.
So the person stayed over the night, and you trying to tell me nobody swapped germs in another fashion? Hello? Leave it in the comments. Look, if you stayed over the night,
are you sharing a toothbrush?
I
need to know.
Look,
I wanted to tap in on this. So, like, if it's a one-time use, I'm straight with it.
One-time use is okay.
Like you told me, like, yo, I use this now. I'm be like, I bet. Let's get you a new one. I'm gonna get me a new one. You used it, right? But I ain't gonna use it again.
Oh, he ain't gonna. Would you use your toothbrush again?
But you're trying to
agree what he's saying though, because no matter what, we shouldn't even care. We should be like, yo, we already doing every craziness involved.
Let's pause for the doing everything involved. We haven't even gotten to that point. I don't know if this is kind of show, but we're talking about the toothbrush after the fact. Do you want to talk about maybe what happened in the bed?
Right.
Shut up.
Where your mouth region may have been in the bed. So now you're going to give me toothbrush lessons post?
There it is. There.
Post? What are we doing?
I think I'm red.
It's giving delusional.
It's giving
delusional.
No.
It's giving delusional.
I don't think I could share my toothbrush.
It's giving delusional. But
have you ever used your not even your girlfriend's, but like the person you're dating, have you ever used their toothbrush?
in emergency situations, I've had to use once. But this is post. But then we sanitize said toothbrush. But let's not, hey, look, this is where I'm telling you, people, the icing on the cake, people are glazing over it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Your mouth has already been in multiple places.
I just feel like it's different. Like plaque is just so gross to me. It's just it's a thing.
But the other stuff ain't gross?
No, that's normal. It's human. I mean, the other stuff.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay. We got to shift gears.
It's giving delusional. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's giving delusional.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the final segment of our
Yes.
show.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to know what book, because I believe in reading. I believe, Jay-Z says, if you ever want to hide information, put it in a book.
Yeah.
Right? So I believe in reading, and
Yeah.
I believe in reading on all of the different things, self-developed, spirituality, how to sleep better, how to eat better, all of the different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so my question for you is, what book has changed your life and why?
Wow, I've read so many good ones.
Yeah, it's hard to pick
one
one.
that has changed my...
And don't say the 4 Agreements.
No.
Okay.
One that's changed my life. One that changed my life is a book written by Walt Disney. It's called Creating Magic.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I've never read that book.
Yes. I read it earlier in my life.
Is that what the movie is based off of?
No, this is just a book, and this is not. This is a book about his leadership and how he grew what the Disney empire is through his creativity and imagination, not knowing what the result would be.
It's not the movie that they did based on him?
No, it's this book, but the movie was not based on the book.
That's what I was asking.
Yes.
Okay.
No, the movie's not based on it, but it's creative magic. Because this is the thing.
Yeah.
When he started the Disney empire, he didn't know. I mean, Disney is one of the biggest companies in the world. Okay.
Yeah.
Owns multiple media outlets, movies are $1 billion movies over and over again. But that's not what he thought that company was going to be when he started.
Wow.
His focus was on creating the best engine that would allow his dreams to get out of his head and out into manifestation.
Wow.
And in that energy, he created an empire. So my biggest thing to anybody that will say changed my life is because my company, Techie Homes, South Park Cottages, everything we'll do forward are just all based upon a manifestation of my engine to create magic. I did not know, as you started our conversation, about the knowing of all people for me now in my world based upon what I did.
Yeah.
But I first had to do something.
Yeah. Okay. I love that.
I had to first do before the next came.
Yes.
And I first had to imagine and
Yes.
create magic.
So you had to be first.
Had to be first.
Then you do.
than you do.
Then you have.
Then you have.
And the rest is history.
And God's gonna God.
God be Godding, y'all.
Yeah.
God be Godding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much. But I'm gonna
You're
hug
very
you when
welcome.
we're done.
Yeah,
We could do we could do the hand thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. Thank
Hand
you
hug.
so much. Well,
You're
I'm gonna
very
hug you for real, but thank you so much for coming on the show,
You're
blessing
welcome.
the audience.
Yeah.
We are just exciting on It's Giving about evolution and transformation, and it's really incredible to get to hear the backstories, because a lot of people disqualify themselves from success.
Sure.
A lot of people disqualify themselves because they feel like they're not built for it. And
Yeah.
what I'm hearing is you have the total underdog story, and you have championed into a champion. You know, you're one of one. And, you know, the whole nation recognizes you for what you've created, but I'm recognizing you for who you're being. I think that's pretty important.
You're never out.
Yes.
Never count yourself out.
Yes.
And kudos to you. Podcast, many blessings for it.
Thank
for sure.
you. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us on another episode of It's Giving. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Peace.